Hi everyone. Today I want to present about distinctive features, phonological process and phonological rules according to a book called Generative Phonology by Sanford Exchange, presented by me, Azhar Anuar, with registration number 2270520006, and with our lecturer Rahmadsyah Rangkuti, MA Ph.D. Okay, let's start. Our main discussion is about the three topics: distinctive feature, phonological process, and phonological rules. Distinctive feature. The definition is the universal set of cognitive properties associated with the speech sounds that are used in language. They determine the contrast which may exist between speech sounds, account for the way in which this sound may change or alternate it, and define the set of sounds. There are some features. The first one is the major class features. There are four in it. The first one is the syllabic. The syllabic segment may function as the nucleus of a syllable, while their counterpart, the minuscule segments, may not, except in the case of syllabic consonant. Plus syllabic designated all vowels. Meanwhile, minus syllabic designated all consonant, included glides. The second one is the consonantal. Consonantal are produced with an audible construction in the vocal tract, such as obstruent, nasals, liquids, and trills. Vowels, glide, and laryngeal segments are not consonantal. The third one is the approximant. Approximant included vowels, glides, and liquid, while excluding nasals and obstruent. And the last one is sonorant. Sonorant describes the type of oral construction that can occur in the vocal tract. Plus sonorant designated the vowels and sonorant consonant, namely glides, liquids, and nasal, that are produced without an imbalance of air pressure in the vocal tract that might cause turbulence. Meanwhile, the minus one describes the obstruent, articulated with noticeable turbulence caused by an imbalance of air pressure in the vocal tract. And now, the manner feature. The manner feature, there are 5 points. The first one is continuant. This feature describes the passage of air through the vocal tract. The plus continuant segments are produced without any significant obstruction in the tract, allowing air to pass through in a continuous stream. Meanwhile, the minus one have such an obstruction and so occlude the airflow at some point of articulation. The second one is nasal. This one describes the position of the velum. The plus nasal are produced by lowering the velum so that air can pass through the nasal tract. Meanwhile, the minus one is raising the velum, blocking the passage of the air to the nasal tract. The third one is strident. Strident feature apply to obstruent only and refer to a type of friction that is noisier than usual. This is caused usually by high energy white noise. And then the fourth one is the lateral. This one designated the shape and positioning of the tongue with respect to the oral tract. The plus one segment produced as the center of the tongue rise to the contact with the roof of the mouth, thereby blocking air from flowing centrally through the oral tract and forcing more lateral flow along the tongue lower side. And then the last one is delay release. This feature distinguishes stop from affricate. Affricate are designated plus delay release. The next one is place of articulation feature. There are two of them. The first one is anterior. Anterior is a feature which characterizes phonemes that are produced with an obstruction located in the front of the palato-alveolar region of the mouth. The palato-alveolar region is where the ordinary cups is produced. Arterial sounds in English are p, b, t, d, n, f, and v. And the second one is a coronal. Coronal is a feature which characterizes sounds that are produced by raising the tongue blade, including the tip of the tongue, from its neutral position toward the teeth or the hard palate. Examples of the coronal sound in English and Dutch are t, d, n, s, z, and l. And the next one is the body of tongue feature. There are four of them. The first one is height. The height feature specifies the height of the tongue body in the mouth, where plus height indicated that the tongue body is raised and -1 is not. The alveolar palatal, and velar consonant and glides and closed or high vowels are plus height, and other plus dorsal sounds are minus height. Note that a sound cannot be both plus high and plus low, but it can be minus high and minus low. The second one is low. Similar to high, the low features specify the height of the tongue body in the mouth, where plus low indicate the tongue is depressed. Perennial consonants and low vowels are plus low, and others plus dorsal sounds are minus low. This is same like in the high explanation. The third one is the back. In contrast to high and flow, the back specification details the horizontal position of the tongue body in the mouth during sound production. The velar, volar, and pharyngeal consonants and central and back glides and vowels are plus back, and other plus dorsal sounds are minus back. And the last one is round. To be round, a phoneme must first be plus labial, which is why you only see a subset of the hyper chart given for this sound. The plus round sounds require the lips to be made into the shape of an O, which incidentally is what happens when you make the sound O. Plus labial sound produced without this rounding are minus round. And the next one is subsidiary feature. There are four of them too. The first one is tense. In phonology, tenseness or tensings is most broadly the pronunciation of a sound with greater muscular effort or constriction that is typical. The second one is voice. The plus voice phones are those which involve the vibration of the vocal folds, whereas minus voice do not induce vibration. The third one is aspirated. Phones which are plus aspirated have a stronger outward airflow. All voiceless fricative plus the voice glottal fricative are plus aspirated, and other sounds are minus aspirated by default. Plus aspirated is often specified for other phones. Though stops can become plus aspirated. This occurs in English when a voiceless stop is in the onset of a stressed syllable, and vowel can become plus aspirated when spoken with breathy voice. And the last one is the glottalized. By default, the implosive consonant and the glottal stop are plus glottalized, and all other sounds are minus glottalized. The implosive consonants are produced using both pulmonic ingressive and pulmonic egressive airflow at the same time. And the next is the prosodic feature, stress and long. For prosodic feature, we need to recognize stress and long. Stress vowel will be marked with plus stress, and long segment, of course, plus long. As well as we shall not be dealing with tone language, we will not postulate any tone feature, some of which has been proposed by Wang and Franklin. And next topic is about the phonological process. Phonological process is about, there is 4 in the phonological process. The first one is assimilation. In assimilatory process, a segment takes on feature from a neighboring segment. A consonant may pick up feature from a vowel. A vowel may take on feature of a consonant. One consonant may influence another, or one vowel may have an effect on another. As you can see, there is 2 examples from the Russian language and the German language. The Russian they using the palatalized. It means like the tongue position of the front vowel is superimposed on an adjacent consonant. Meanwhile, the German is called umlauting. Is the back vowels are fronted before certain suffix containing a high front vowel. And then the next one is the syllable structure process. The syllable structure process affects the relative distribution of consonants and vowels within the word. Consonants or vowels may be deleted or inserted. 2 segments may coalesce into a single segment. A segment may change major class feature, such as a vowel becoming a glide, and 2 segments may interchange. Like this 5, this is the example. The first one is deletion. The vowel and consonant is gone, and then there is insertion. There is something input in it, and then the coalescence. The 2 segments become a single. The 2 segments coalesce into a single segment, and then there is major class change. Sorry. And then the last one is metathesis. 2 segments may interchange. And the next one is weakening and strengthening. Sorry. Not all change in syllabic structure necessarily lead to a simpler syllable structure. The syllable structure will become more complex. For example, if a vowel in an original CV configuration were to be deleted so that 2 consonants came together, such deletions are often caused by segments occupying a weak position in the syllable. There is 4 examples. The first one is syncope and apocope, and then there is a vowel reduction, and the third one is diphthongization, and the fourth one is the vowel shift, and the last one is the neutralization. Neutralization is a process whereby phonological distinctions are reduced in a particular environment. Hence, segments which contrast in one environment have the same representation in the environment of neutralization. There are 2 of them. The first one is consonant neutralization, and the second one is a vowel neutralization. Okay, we go to the next slide. And then this is our last topic, phonological rules. Phonological rules, there are some subtopic in there. The first one is the feature changing rules. When segments undergo change, we want to know three things: which segment change, how they change, and under what condition they change. The segment or class of segments which undergoes change is characterized by the minimal set of features necessary for unique identification. The example like the four of these: minus sonorant become minus voice, vowels become plus nasal, and then minus sonorant in here become plus voice, and then in here vowels become plus nasal slash, I don't know, is consonant plus nasal and consonant, and then vowels become minus back slash consonant 0 become vowels plus high minus back. And the next is deletion and insertion. Deletion is indicated by 0, the null symbol. The segment which undergoes deletion appear to the left of the arrow and the 0 to the right. In a rule for insertion, the null symbol appear to the left of the arrow and the segment to be inserted appear to the right. Like we see, this is the rules. Like in deletion, there is consonant plus nasal and become 0 null symbol slash and then become vowel plus nasal. And meanwhile in insertion, 0 arrow vowel plus high plus round slash what is this, and become consonant. And then is the permutation and coalesces. The rule is A arrow B slash C is equivalent to AC to BC, where the environment is mentioned on both sides of the arrow. The rule which nasalizes a vowel when it precedes a nasal consonant and a word boundary is given in this alternated notation. Like this: vowels, consonant plus nasal, this symbol, vowels plus nasal, and then consonant plus nasal, and this is the fence symbol. And the next slide is about assimilation and dissimilation. To express assimilation, we will need to write the separated rule, stating assimilation before a voice obstruent, the other before a voiceless one. Meanwhile, dissimilation is a process in which two segments become less similar to each other. Like in this example, assimilation, minus sonorant, arrow become plus voice, slash, and then become minus sonorant plus voice. Or minus sonorant, arrow minus voice, slash, become minus sonorant and minus voice. And then in the dissimilation, in minus sonorant and become minus et continuant slash et continuant. And the next slide is subscript and superscript. When C0 occurs in a rule, the interpretation is 0 or more consonant. Any integer can appear as a subscript on a segment, and simply means that number of segment or more. Example, C1 means 1 or more consonant, C2 2 or more consonant, and so on. Like in here, C 1 and 0 become C, and then C, consonant 2 and 0 become consonant and consonant, and then consonant 2 plus and 1 become consonant times consonant. And okay, this is my presentation. I hope that you understand. Thank you for listening, and see you maybe next meeting. Thank you.